Welcome to the Tech Mechanic. Today's breakdown is part of our Azure Architecture Master Series. If you want the full roadmap, then hit the playlist from the start. With that said, let's dive into today's topic. Imagine your application has customers in India, America, Europe, and Australia. Your application is running in multiple Azure regions. Now comes the architecture question. Which region should each customer connect to? And what happens if one region becomes unhealthy? Today we are going to understand Azure Front Door, a global entry point that can help us build fast, secure, and highly available applications. Let's start with a simple architecture. Everyone connects to one Azure region. It's easy to understand. But what happens if that region has a major outage? Every customer is affected. And even when the region is healthy, users who are geographically far away may experience higher latency. For global applications, we need to think beyond a single regional deployment. Azure Front Door provides a global entry point for applications. Instead of users connecting directly to different regional application endpoints, they can connect through a global frontend. Front Door can then use routing and health information to direct traffic toward the appropriate backend. Think of it as the front door of your globally distributed application. Now let's understand the basic routing concept. Front Door receives the user's request. It evaluates the configured routing and backend health information. Based on the architecture and routing configuration, traffic can be directed to an appropriate backend. This becomes extremely useful when our application is deployed across multiple regions. Now let's introduce a failure. Region A becomes unhealthy. Instead of continuing to send traffic blindly toward an unhealthy backend, our global routing architecture can direct traffic toward a healthy backend. This is where global traffic management becomes an important part of high availability architecture. But remember, Front Door doesn't magically make your application multi-region. Your application architecture still needs a recovery and multi-region strategy. Front Door becomes even more interesting when we combine it with security capabilities, such as Web Application Firewall. Instead of allowing every request to reach the application directly, we can place security controls at the global edge. This allows us to build an architecture where traffic is inspected before reaching our application backends. Performance and security can therefore become part of the same global entry point strategy. Another important concept is content delivery. Static content such as images, JavaScript, CSS, and other cacheable resources can often be served closer to users through edge infrastructure. This reduces the distance between the user and the content. The result? Lower latency and a faster user experience. This is especially valuable for globally distributed applications. Here's an important interview and architecture question. What's the difference between Azure Front Door and Azure Load Balancer? Load Balancer is primarily designed for distributing traffic within a regional architecture. Front Door operates at a global application entry point. So think: Load Balancer, regional traffic distribution; Front Door, global application delivery and routing. The two can also exist together in the same architecture. Now we are starting to see the solution architect picture. Users enter through Front Door. Security controls can be applied at the edge. Traffic is routed toward the appropriate region. Inside each region, we can still use regional services such as Load Balancer. This gives us multiple layers. Global traffic management outside. Regional traffic distribution inside. Now let's move into the Azure Portal. I'll search for Front Door profiles. From here we can create and manage Front Door resources. During the configuration, pay attention to the concepts rather than simply memorizing the portal fields. We are defining how users reach our application, where the backend is located, and how traffic should be routed. Let's start by logging into the Azure Portal. If resource group already not created, then click on Create a resource group and search for Azure Front Door and CDN profiles. Azure offers standard and premium tiers. Standard is optimized for content delivery and global routing, while premium adds robust security like built-in web application firewall and private link. For beginners, let's select Quick Create and click Continue. Now, fill out the basic profile settings. Choose your subscription and create a resource group. Give your front door profile a unique name. Create a globally unique endpoint name. This will give you your public azureft.net web address. Select your backend origin type, such as an app service or storage account, and provide your origin's hostname. Click Review plus Create. See here. This is your global public web address provided by Azure. When users visit this URL, they hit your front door instead of going directly to your backend servers. You can see a green checkmark showing enabled for the endpoint, meaning it is currently active and accepting traffic. Default route highlighted in red. A route tells Azure Front Door how to connect incoming web traffic to your application servers. Lists the web addresses associated with this route. One important concept you'll see is the origin. An origin represents the backend endpoint that Front Door sends traffic toward. We can organize origins into origin groups and configure routing and health behavior. This is where the global frontend connects to our actual application infrastructure. Now we connect the pieces. A user accesses a domain. Front Door evaluates the configured route. The route determines where the request should go. The origin group contains the backend endpoints. Health information helps the architecture avoid unhealthy backends. And for production applications, HTTPS and custom domains are essential considerations. Let's apply everything to our shopping application. Customers around the world enter through Azure Front Door. WAF provides an additional security layer. Front Door routes traffic toward the appropriate application environment. Each region contains its own application infrastructure. And underneath this, we still need a proper database replication and data strategy. Again, Front Door is one piece of the architecture, not the entire disaster recovery solution. And now we can connect today's topic with our previous episode. In previous video, we learned about Azure Site Recovery in detail. Site Recovery helps us design disaster recovery for supported workloads. Front Door provides a global application entry point and traffic routing capability. Together, they can become part of a larger multi-region architecture. This is the important architect mindset. Don't think about Azure services individually. Think about how they work together to solve a business problem. Let's finish with an architect challenge. Your company has 10 million users across the world. Your application runs into Azure regions. Suddenly, one region goes down. Would you simply add more CPU? Add a bigger VM? Or design a global entry point with multi-region application infrastructure and appropriate disaster recovery? The answer should start with understanding the business requirements and then designing the appropriate global architecture. And remember, a global application needs a global architecture. Whether your goal is to become a solution architect, cloud architect, AI architect, or simply a better software engineer, the Tech Mechanic is your learning destination. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay ahead in your tech journey.